we are understaffed. So if you look back to the Obama years, there were some DEI principles that were brought into air traffic control. They were new. We brought in more people into the academy, but less people passed through the academy and became trained. COVID was a huge impact, right? So the schools, the academies were shut down for a period of time, but once the schools opened up, they were running at half capacity. And when we had graduates, they couldn't get into the towers to train. And we're right now working with the FAA. We're going to surge air traffic controllers. We're going to bring in the best and the brightest. That was the direction from President Trump. Get them trained up, get them into towers, and get them certified. To your point, Jake, I can't flip a switch and make that happen overnight, but it's this process and this plan we're developing right now that's going to, a year, 2, 3 years from now, show real results of putting certified air traffic controllers, bright, smart, brilliant people in towers controlling airspace. But we have another problem, Jake. I think if you look at a discussion that's happened on the Hill for a long time, our air traffic control system, it's antiquated. A lot of the systems we use date back to World War II. We have to upgrade the system. We have to have the best system in the world. The technology was developed here, but it's not being used here. President Trump has said that to me numerous times. He's on board. I have to work with Democrats and Republicans on the Hill. We're going to need their insight, their resources, but we can truly impact the efficiency and safety of the airspace if we upgrade the system.
So you just alluded to DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion processes of trying to expand people in the workforce. Is there any specific evidence that backs up Donald Trump's claims, President Trump's claims, that DEI or FAA hiring practices are responsible in any way for this tragedy at Reagan National?
Jake, I think the better question is, am I going to guarantee the American people that only the best and the brightest serve in this incredibly important body of the Department of Transportation, that they're driven by safety and DEI doesn't matter? So I do know that in the last administration, they were focused on not safety, but they were focused on changing the name from cockpit to flight deck, or notice to airmen. They want to change it to notice to air mission. They focused on EVs and sustainability and racist roads, things that don't matter in regard to safety. Our mission since the start has been safety, and they've lost that mission. And we see when you don't focus on safety and you focus on social justice or the environment, bad things happen. And listen, it's been busy. We're going to have a fuller assessment of what happens in regard to DEI in FAA and DOT, and we'll report that out. But I will tell you this, DOT is a big department. The only DEI office that exists in the whole department was at the FAA. Now that existed up to a week ago, that's now gone.
Again, you alluded to this earlier, that the idea of the DEI expanded the number of people trying to get into the air traffic control training, not necessarily those who graduated. The head of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association says that all air traffic controllers are subject to rigorous training and that, quote, the standards to achieve certification have nothing to do with race or gender or anything else. So it sounds like you're saying that there isn't any evidence right now that this affected the accident because it's so early. You'll let us know if there is any, but I just don't know of any evidence. And if there is some, please tell us that DEI had anything to do with the tragedy itself.
What I'm talking about is the mission of safety. And on your airplanes, Jake, or your air traffic controllers, or anyone that works at CNN or anywhere else, they do want the best and the brightest. They will not sacrifice that. You can have DEI in water coolers and universities. I disagree with that, but lives aren't impacted with DEI at universities. It is impacted here. And so my commitment to the American people is, I don't care your race, your religion, your color, your sex, your sexual preference. I don't care about any of that. I just want the best and the brightest keeping Americans safe. And that should be the standard in this department. And that's coming back. That's what we're bringing. We're going back to our mission of safety. And back to we're talking about the FAA and the